Rainbow Six Siege is a very hard game, and it's one of the hardest games to learn in 2025. For me, I am a champion Rainbow Six Siege player. I've played this game competitively in T3, I've hit champion multiple times, and I've been making content for about 4 years now. But it took me a while to get there, and I was very bad at the game starting out. So that made me ask myself, what would I do if I wanted to get as good as I am today and do it as quickly as possible? So this is how I would get good at Siege if I was a new player just starting out today. The first thing I would do is to try to get as many operators as possible. The more operators you have, the more setup you're going to be for certain situations. For example, if they're bringing a Valkyrie, finding her cameras are going to be very hard. But if I have IQ, it's going to be very easy. And sometimes bringing certain operators like IQ are almost crucial to winning. So the more operators you have, the higher your success of winning is, which is why I think it's the most important thing that you need to do. Start stacking up renown and buying as many operators as possible. Or if you have money, buy the most expensive version of the game that already comes with all of the operators. All of the legacy operators, which are all of the operators from Smoke to Bandit, or on attack it would be Sledge to IQ, all of them only cost 1,000 R6 credits. The rest of which cost at least 10,000, and when you get to the more expensive operators, can cost even 20,000 per operator. So make sure that you prioritize getting the first legacy operators up here, as you will get the most amount of operators for the least amount of credits as quickly as possible. An even quicker way to not only get better at the game, but to get the most amount of operators is by pressing play, going to training, going to tutorials, and completing all 3 of these tutorials. When you complete all 3 of these tutorials, the game will actually give you a majority of these legacy operators for free, and it will also give you 10,000 R6 credits. So you don't even have to waste money on these, you'll get them for free, you'll do it quickly, and you'll complete the tutorial, which will tell you everything you need to know on a basic level of how to play the game. You also want to think about what operators you need to unlock as well. There are some ones that are just way better to have. Like one of the first attackers you should be unlocking is Ace. He's much less situational than Thermite and has arguably a better weapon. Unlocking Buck is pretty crucial too, because you need to be able to play below with vertical. Having Maverick is a necessity, as sometimes you won't be able to open a wall without him. And then on defense, there's good picks too. You need a Cade, you need to be able to electrify hatches or more walls. You absolutely need Wamai and Jaeger to be able to deny grenades, but there are some operators that you don't necessarily need. Like you never really need to get Cav, she can be one of your last picks. On attack, you don't really need to buy Iana. She is good, don't get me wrong, but there are other high priority picks like Thatcher, Maverick, or Ace like I went over earlier. But that's enough about operators. If I were to start over trying to learn the game again, operator selection is nice, but there's a lot more to it. One of the very first things I would do is go to my settings, go to options, and then change my settings to the most optimal ones. There are plenty of settings guides on YouTube, but just very recently, I actually made a settings guide for 2025. It may not be up yet if you're watching this video the second that it comes out, but for most people, going onto my channel, even to a non-updated settings guide, would help me out, and it would get you the best settings, so that's what I would do personally. Not only would I change all of these settings, from having lower graphics, having high shadows, turning my aspect ratio to 16:10, turning down my HUD, and many other miscellaneous things like your drone after prep, but I also would change my matchmaking settings. Having on arcade to free-for-all or team deathmatch to be able to use arcade as a good warm-up is crucial. Also, because you are new to the game, you're not going to have ranked unlocked quite yet. Once you get past playing newcomer and you unlock quick play, go to your settings and just turn on bomb. In ranked, the only game mode that there is bomb, so practicing on nothing but bomb will make you better faster. Once standard is unlocked in the tactical playlist, go to settings and make sure that only ranked maps are on. That way you're training on only maps that you're going to go on when you play ranked. It is going to make learning a lot faster and more ideal. One of the first things I would do as well, if I wanted to get good as quickly as possible, is go to map training and go to the target drill. Before you click on it, go to your settings, make sure that you have on headshot only, that way you can practice your crosshair placement and your recoil control, and then also click on random ranked map, that way you can learn every single map. If you already have some maps memorized and you want to learn other ones, then just click on those maps specifically, and then you can click target drill to load in and learn a specific map. As you can see at the top of my screen, I have about an hour to do whatever I want here. Going into a target drill allows you to be inside of a map and just walk around the map. You can walk around the map and just get a feel of what the map looks like, memorize where all the rooms are in your head for as long as you want to, so that you have more map knowledge. Having more map knowledge allows you to know, hey, there's a hallway to my right and not just a wall. So I know when I swing out, I have to check that so I don't die, right? So just go around, walk around the map, learn it in your head. Also, as you're doing it, above your compass, you can see what exact room you're in. So this is the conference room. This is the executive lounge. Most people just call this lounge. And then this is CEO office. Most people just call this CEO. So now you're learning the names of rooms, which will allow you to know what callouts are, so you can listen to them, and then you'll know where enemies are. And then it'll also allow you to give callouts to your teammates. As you can see, when I press tab as well, I get these red pings. These are enemies. They're bots. They won't shoot you back unless you want them to in the settings. And it gives you a feel for how people look on that map. So now you can get a feel of actually shooting people who are on the map, so you know exactly how to swing certain doorways. For example, because I have pings on, I know that there's a guy hard left of this corner. But if I didn't know the map and I'm still a new player, I'm gonna clear the angle like this, and I'm gonna look at that door and not even check the left, which can get me killed. But if you come into the target drill and you're shooting dummies, these dummies spawn in positions that are common for people to sit or stand in, which is the best part about this. It will give you common positions people like to be in so that you know whenever you're actually in a game on the map where to look, which is really, really nice. So if you're new and you want to get good, starting out by just learning the maps like this is a great idea. But now I actually want to talk about stuff for not just like very, very new players. Let's talk to people who maybe have already been playing the game for a while. If you're using this video as a way to get better by seeing what I would do if I was new, well, for one, the last thing I would do is actually worry about mechanics. I think learning recoil control is important, so if you find an operator with a gun that you like that you want to be able to learn how to control, you can go to the shooting range, look at the recoil pattern. Okay, I know this gun goes up and to the right, so I'm gonna pull down to the left, and then you can learn how to control the recoil of the gun. I think that's important, but aside from that, learning exactly how to Shiko peek or learning how to flick or how to track is not really as important. I know it's not important because 2 seasons ago, I played nothing but console and I suck on controller. I could not hit shots. But my second season ever of playing console, I was able to hit Emerald easily because I just had good game sense positioning and most importantly, crosshair placement. So one of the first things I do if I were trying to learn the game from the bottom up is just learn where head level is. If I know where head level is, I don't have to worry about recoil control because the first bullet is going to hit his head anyways and he's gonna die. I also don't have to worry about, you know, Shiko peeking or learning how to flick because if you just have good crosshair placement and you just hold angles and you hold doorways, people's heads will just fall into your crosshair. So the first thing I would do if I were learning this game again is just to practice aiming head level every single place that you go. You can practice it here in the shooting range, or you can practice it by barricading a door, looking at the buckle of that door, and just looking at like, hey, that's head level, and now you aim head level. One thing I think everybody needs to work on though is positioning. And to show you what I mean, I'm gonna bring you to this clip of me 1v1ing a viewer live on my Twitch. Go check that out, by the way. Now, right now, the bomb site is Master and Jin, which is to my right. I'm playing Ram, he's playing Smoke. There's a lot of things that go into positioning, and I think learning that can actually be the best thing to master before mechanics, game sense, map knowledge, or anything else if you want to get good quickly. So I'm gonna play this clip for you. Right now, I know he smoked that doorway off, which means he's not gonna hold it. Good smoke mains will smoke one way off, and then they'll look a different place, so that way they're effectively covering 2 areas at once. So I knew, because he smoked that off, he's probably gonna peek this door. So I positioned myself to look at the door. That's the first part of positioning yourself, is where are you looking? I chose to look at the door because of game sense, and just in case I wouldn't get caught off by surprise. The second part about it is where are you physically positioning yourself now that you know what to look at? So I know to look at this door, but should I look at it right next to the door? Should I be like on the door looking at it, or should I be super far back? Should I be at the back of the room? Should I be on the left? Should I be on the right? There's a lot of different places, but I chose to position myself at an off angle. When the smoke swings this door, he has a shotgun, which means he wants to take a close range gunfight. He knows that I'm not going to be close to here, because obviously he can see that on the door, but he just saw me in construction, which means he thinks I'm going to be on my left when he swings the door, which is over here. Or I guess his right. You get the idea. He thinks I'm going to be over here, and because I know that, I'm going to position myself all the way to the right like this. That way when he swings, he overswings, he doesn't react in time, and then I'll be able to get a kill just like that. And that's why I'm able to call him a lost puppy in a man's world.
Lost puppy in a man's world. Like a lost puppy in a man's world.
So learning to position yourself based off of where your enemy is going to be, your game sense, what's generally going on, is one of the best things that you can do. And I think the best way that you can do this is by playing an arcade. In arcades, you are given an infinite amount of lives until somebody either reaches the kill count or the timer has ran out. This means you get a lot of gunfights and you're able to learn how to take gunfights the quickest and the most out of every other game mode. So if you turn on free-for-all and team deathmatch in your settings and you queue for an arcade, you can easily learn how to position yourself, when to swing, when not to swing, do you go prone, how do you hold angles, and you learn all of that the best by just playing arcades constantly. Some of the best mechanical gunfight demons that you know, like Stompin' or Spoit, do or have played a lot of arcade for this reason. This is the quickest way that you can train playing your gunfights. Because there's so many people surrounding you at one time, especially in a free-for-all, if you have bad positioning, you will be punished for it the most out of every other game mode. Because at any given time, there are 3 enemies around you. But if your positioning is so good that only one of those people is able to see you at one time, which is how it should be, you won't be dying to people that you're not even looking at. If that's a really big problem that you have, which is dying to people that you aren't looking at, or dying to people that are shooting you from behind, getting third-partied, that is due to your positioning, wholeheartedly. If you know how to position yourself to where only one person can shoot you at one time, you never have this issue. So going to an arcade and just drilling arcades would be actually your best bet. Now, positioning is very important, and it's something that I think I'm actually pretty good at, but there's a lot of things that I'm still bad at, and I want you as the viewer to be able to learn from things that I'm bad at just as much as you learn from things that I'm good at. One thing that I do kind of suck at that I wish I was better at that you can still get good at is learning individual sound cues. In Rainbow Six Siege, information is like gold. The more of it that you have, the way better of a time you're going to have playing the game. And when you don't have information, it really sucks. So being able to rely on your ears and sound cues is the difference between very good players and very, very good players. Something you can easily practice in custom games or just in real time to get good at using your ears in game is learning the sound cue of different things that you walk on. For example, walking on tarps has a completely different sound than walking on concrete. Or walking on tile. Walking on wood also sounds different. As you can hear, it's much more of like an echoey light sound. Walking on carpet is more muffled and quiet. And then there's also the difference of being able to hear above or below you. If you don't have a good headset, sometimes distinguishing the two can be hard, but just know that if somebody is below you, it's more of a treble sound and there's less echo. And if someone is above you, typically there's more bass and there's more echo and it's more of a deep low sound. So learning any sound cue is great. For example, learning the sound of barbed wire is good too. If I'm playing upstairs and I want to know if someone's coming up the staircase going through my barbed wire, that's really important to know. Because if I put my barbed wire at the top of the stairs right here, if I don't hear him on my barbed wire, then I know he's at the bottom of the staircase. But if I do hear him on my barbed wire, then I know that he's at the top. If I have a shotgun right here, the second that I hear he's in the barbed wire, because the barbed wire is so close, I know that he's within distance for me to one-shot kill him with a shotgun. Whereas if he were all the way down there, I would not only not be able to one-shot kill him, but I would barely do any damage at all. So learning the sound cue of not only just different floor types, but learning what barbed wire sounds like, learning what meleeing barbed wire sounds like, so you know when they're vulnerable, learning what reloading sounds like, so you know when to swing them, learning what every single gun sounds like is important too. Sometimes when I'm droning in the prep phase, I'll hear this, and I'll know it's an SMG-11 based off of just the sound of the bullets or the rate of fire. So you can just know, oh, that's Thorn I'm going against because I hear the UZK, right? Like you can just get so much information off of sound cue alone. So if I were new starting out to the game, one of the first things I would learn is just what everything sounds like. If you have to, get a journal and write it down and just revisit it, or go into custom games like I'm doing and just listen very carefully to what things sounds like. I know you might think that that's tryharding and nobody wants to do all of that, but if you're watching a video, you're watching a video to get better. So put your pride aside, and if you want to, do what you have to do. Now, one of the final things I would do if I were starting out to the game again is not only should you learn every map, but you need to learn how to defend and attack every single bomb site. Like for example, do you know where all 4 of the rotates go for the bedroom church bomb site? If you don't, then that's an issue. Every rotate, every reinforcement, every head hole, every proximity alarm, every castle barricade, every single piece of utility, you should purposefully be putting down to do something. For example, if I'm defending this bomb site, I'm gonna put a prox alarm on this staircase. That way, if I'm in this hallway, I don't have to worry about somebody just flying up my staircase without me knowing. Not only should you learn where everything goes, like where the rotates go, but you should also learn why the rotate goes here. Like for one, do you know why you have a rotate on this wall? Even good players might not know this. They just put the rotate there because they know that they use it in some scenarios and they see it all the time. But understanding why you put things certain places can make you a better player. For example, you put this bathroom rotate here because it allows you, if you're sitting bathroom, to be able to exit the bathroom in a more safe way. If you don't have a rotate there and somebody gets on your master window, you can't leave bathroom ever. You're stuck. So having a rotate here negates that. Not only should you know why rotates are there, but why is it vaultable? Why is this rotate typically not crouchable? Why is it not sprintable? Why did I make it vaultable specifically? Well, you do that because if you don't, people can rappel outside this drone hole and shoot your feet through the drone hole through this rotate if you're in bathroom. So that's why you make it vaultable, at least in this scenario. So not only did you just learn why that's the case, but because you know why this is the case, now you know that you can shoot people through this drone hole and you just unlocked a new angle. So that's why understanding site setup and why you do the things you do is so important, and you need to start learning this early. It can be as simple as just watching your teammates set up site and asking them questions. Siege is a pretty toxic place, so if you don't want to do that, then all you have to do is look up guides for every single map. I personally have made guides for maps, and I've made a video talking about how to set up every single site and why you do the things you do, so you can go watch that video if you're interested at the end of this one. But watching content, talking to people, watching Pro League players and just seeing what they do and trying to understand why they do it will make you miles ahead of everybody else in your rank. Now, if I were new to Rainbow Six Siege, something else that I would do if I didn't have all of the operators unlocked is I would constantly be using boosters every single day that I play. The game will give you free boosters based off of challenges in the battle pass, or literally just for free at the end of the season sometimes. Activating a booster makes it to where you will earn more renown for every game that you play. These stack too, so if you have everybody in your squad running a booster, you actually get more boost for the amount of people that are running boosters in your squad. You also want to be opening as many alpha packs as you possibly can. Don't pay for them, but the ones that you get for free you want to open. That is because if you were to open a pack, and let's say that this pack is a duplicate, having a duplicate will actually give you more renown. This unfortunately wasn't one, but the more duplicates you get and the rarer those duplicates are, they will just give you free renown that you can use, which can get you operators faster. Something else I do if I was new trying to learn the game is I would go to career, and if it's not clear to you why you lost a gunfight or lost a game, go to replays. From here, you can see every single game that you've played. It'll tell you the day, the time, what map, whether it was a custom game or a ranked game. As you can see, mine are all customs for the video, but you get the idea. It'll tell you the score as well, and then you can click on this, and you can control the camera however you want, going to whatever floor. You can control the map, whether you see only the basement or the first floor and the second floor. You can go to each round individually, you can slow the round down, but more importantly, you can watch and study your enemies. Is your enemy standing still, not doing anything? Or is he hiding in a corner? Did you get shot from an angle that you've never seen before, and you want to actually see that angle so you know where the angle is? Did you spawn in and immediately die to a window, and you want to see how he got to that window or where that window was again, so you memorize not to get spawn peeked from there again? Do you want to watch yourself and see if you can notice any mistakes that you make, or if you maybe misdroned somebody in a corner, or maybe if you could have taken a different gunfight because now you're able to actually see where your enemies are? Did somebody have a Valkyrie camera that you just couldn't find, and you want to see where he put it in the prep phase so that you can use it, or at least know it exists? You can do everything I just said with match replay. You can even spectate people too. Now I'm able to go first person and see his POV and see any angles he's holding or what attachments he's running, what skins people have. Going to match replay and just watching stuff will make you better very, very quickly. Something else I would do if I was starting out is try to understand every ability and every ability's counters. All you have to do is go to the operators tab, click on somebody, go to operator guides, and then hovering over these guides will show you somebody actually using the ability. They'll show you the buttons you need to press. They'll give you an example of it working. Sometimes they'll even show you counters to the gadget that you use. They'll even give you basic guides on like how to repel, and you can do this with every single operator in the game. Right now there are 74 operators. By the time you're seeing this, there might even be 75. So you have to learn a lot, and learning what every operator does and how they all interact is very, very confusing. I think watching content on, operator guides and stuff like that can help you a lot too. Looking up what attachments to run, what are the best combinations. Again, content's gonna help you out a lot. But for the most important thing that I recommend if you are starting out and you want to get good fast at the game is to press this Ubisoft Connect button, go to the social tab, and just start adding friends. In game, you can add them through Ubisoft Connect as well, and you can search up usernames here to add. But as you can see, I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of people that I can play with at any given moment. It just keeps going. I have a lot of friends. I'm not trying to brag to you or anything, but I'm telling you, I have a lot of friends so that I constantly have people to play with. You're gonna win more games if you play with people. Not only is it a less hostile environment, but because it's not as hostile of an environment, and these are people that, are willing to obviously play with you, they're gonna be willing to talk with you, which means you're gonna have more callouts, which means you're gonna learn callouts faster. If they have strats, you're gonna learn strats faster. If you have any questions at all, you can ask any of these people a question. Obviously not like these people specifically, but your friends, you get the idea. And most importantly, you can literally just watch them play. If the people you're adding are better than you are at the game, watching them is going to make you better, just like watching this video will make you better. Not only will watching this video make you better, but watching this next video will make you better as well. My name's Alka, follow the Twitch, and I hope I'll see you there.